The ancestors of my shield now.
M'Baku didn't like the raisins in the potato salad.
LA streets would have been on fire.
How do you know that if you couldn't, you wouldn't fuck Kim Kardashian? How do you know that you wouldn't rush the stage with a Hennessy bottle when Taylor Swift wins over Beyonce?
You niggas in trouble.
Yo, what is going on, folks? What is going on? Welcome to another new episode Behind the Scene Podcast, Basement Bandits for Life. Hashtag don't sell it. What is going on? My name is Dion Donovan. I'm your co-host for this evening, and I'm with O Kingdom Come Charles.
Hello.
Pan-African Phantom.
The Pan-African Phantom is here.
I got just your ordinary guy, D. Smith.
What up?
What up, man? And we got a special guest in the house. It's been I think 2 years since you've been on the pod, man.
Stop playing.
It's been close to that. It's been close to that because I remember that.
It's been a minute. We got a special guest, Vonnell Young, man, with Delta Dogs, Millennial Comics. What's going on, bro?
What up? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good, dude. I heard you got some new material and some new books. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? Where you coming from in your series and what you've been up to lately?
Word, yeah, man. Still rocking with Delta Dogs, and the new material we came out with recently is volume books, man. Got basically a hardcover. Everybody's always asking, like, man, I got to search for 20 plus books. So we just putting them all in one book and stuff like that. It's actually 4 different books.
Nice.
So that's what's new with Delta Dogs. We also got, I'm not sure the last time I've been on this podcast, but we also did another series called Kicks and a few other things on our Patreon as well. But everything's been going gravy, man. We've been doing so many different sales. The most time consuming thing is packaging at this point.
That's good. That's a good problem.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a blessing, man. That's a blessing, dude. I mean, 20 plus issues. Let me repeat that for everyone out there. 20 plus issues. Literally 2-0. Outpacing
2-0.
Image Comics, outpacing Marvel Comics, outpacing DC Comics. The work ethic is unmatched, bro. Like, real talk, man. Like, that's mad respect to have 20 plus issues with your own comic book series and just putting that much love and dedication, heart into your story, into your vision. And most people can't even get to past the issue number 2, and you got 2-0, plus. That's heavy, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, it just believe in the dream, man. That's all it is.
Word, man, word. Let me give why don't you give the audience a little synopsis of what Delta Dogs is about and the story.
Word. So Delta Dogs is about basically these 7 cousins right here. They gain superpowers and get trapped up in a gang war. So not only are they fighting gangs that's ruling over their streets, but also they gotta deal with this military unit that's chasing after them, and then also they gotta deal with their next test exam. So it's like, it has that family dynamic, which I feel like this is one of the first Black families that's in comic books, or one of the only ones. And also when it comes to just like the leader, the leader is he actually used to be a gangster and stuff like that. He used to be in one of the gangs, and now he's trying to basically switch over and be a better light in front of his younger cousins. Damn. So that has that. So he's not your typical leader and stuff like that. So that's what kind of makes the comic book different.
That's dope.
Word.
Man, that's ill, man. I know there's a few folks out there who are looking for, where are the Black superhero families, where are the family dynamic in comic books when it comes to that? Because you're not going to get it with T'Challa and Storm. So
right.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
In mainstream.
You may not get it.
No.
You may not get it live action either. So, I mean, for you to offer that in your book, it's definitely, I think, audiences want that, and they definitely should check out Delta Dogs. I need to catch up. I'm on 16, 17 and like the artwork is great. The storytelling is very, it's like Blood Syndicate meets Power, almost, so to speak.
Ooh.
Hey,
I mean, like,
you got it. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, because I mean, like, just think about it, man. We literally, comics has been out for how long, and we haven't had a black family. You know what I'm saying, in comic books. And I mean, and that's how you know. That's how you know we don't control nothing on the scene. You know what I'm saying? We had that control and stuff like that. If Dwayne McDuffie still had that control over milestones, bruh, we would have been probably got stuff like this.
True.
Yeah, I mean, it's so many different things that hasn't came out yet because we haven't had that control and stuff like that. So that's what Millennium Comics is doing. We're trying to take control, put out the series that the mainstream can't come up with or won't even think about. So yeah, this is just the beginning.
That's dope.
Looks like, am I frozen?
I think
yeah, it
so.
does look like you're frozen.
Okay, I'm like, yo, move.
Let me see here. Maybe we're removing you, adding you back.
How about kill his video and then put it back on.
All right, let's try that. We'll try that. But yeah, that's a real thing. That's a real sentiment. Everyone wants to complain how, we got the Marvels coming up, right? Like, yes, I'll put my bottom dollar. Monica Rambeau is not gonna have a love interest in that.
Monica Rambeau and Friends is what you mean.
And Friends, yes. And Friends, right? I'll put
superhero team up, Marvel team up. That's what it is. Marvel team up.
Monica Rambeau and the Marvels.
And the Marvels, essentially. Shit. And I bet you that when Riri Williams comes out, Ironheart, she probably won't have a love.
Oh, that's canceled, bro.
You think that's still gonna happen?
That's canceled.
I heard they do.
They need to cancel Wonder Man.
Nah, that's just done, bro.
Wonder Man need to get canceled.
Oh, you hop back out.
No. Ain't nobody want to see that shit.
The Wonder Man series? I mean,
Wonder Man. No, ain't nobody want to see that shit.
Dude went from Yahya Abdul-Mateen went from Black Manta to Black Wonder Man.
That's cold.
Oh snap! I mean,
that's
you want that MCU money, man. You want that MCU money. Look, it's just not something you're gonna get in the mainstream at this rate. I mean, I think Sam Wilson might get a little boo thing in Captain America 4. I think some kind of military chick or whatever. But
you think so?
Hopefully, Misty Knight. I want Misty Knight.
Misty Knight,
please.
I do. But they ain't gonna. She was fine too. But I don't think.
Yeah.
Luke Cage.
They're not gonna do it. Yeah. If he was to get one, my money is on Misty Knight.
If they bring her back for that, I wouldn't mind it. That'd be dope.
Yeah. Misty and Sam are in the. I think they're linked up in the comics. That'd actually be pretty ideal. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're not gonna get in Black Panther. I think we almost had Shuri and Namor kind of a shipping in that. Let me stop. I
wouldn't mind that dynamic in Marvel. There isn't anything like a Batman and Catwoman in the movies. Like an anti-hero, like love interest. There's no one like that.
Yeah.
Where that makes for conflicting kind of thing.
I think the Terrifics, Mr. Terrific has a family in the comics. So
no, I mean in the in the MCU so far.
In the MCU?
Yeah.
No.
They're running low on. They're running low on anti-heroes.
Closest thing to that was Star-Lord and Gamora, I guess. And they were both bad, technically.
Yeah.
They were both bad guys.
If you want to count green as black.
Right?
That alchemy. That alchemy.
It's only 9 minutes in. Calm down.
Alchemy.
Calm down, brother.
We are children of Asar. All right. But
I have to do it.
But yeah, man, I think it's definitely something that's needed. I know the only other two series I know independent comic book wise was I think Meeting the Jonases.
I've seen that one, I haven't read it.
Yeah.
I saw it and hadn't read it either.
It looked like a Fantastic Four. It looked too much like
it looked like Fantastic Four and The Incredibles had a kid.
Yeah.
Right.
And then didn't claim it.
Pretty much.
Just dropped on the fire station.
and the antagonists. Those are the only two comic book series
Antagonists
that have
very pretty.
Yeah. I think they delivered on the family aspect for sure on that with the series, and it's interesting. And then I think there was a Disney Channel original movie. Y'all remember that with
I know what you're talking about.
Up and Away? No.
Yeah, Up and Away. You remember that?
Okay.
Up and Away.
If they pulled that out of the Disney vault and their weakness was tinfoil.
I remember that.
Oh, I remember that.
Wow.
I remember because I used to watch that a hell of a lot. And the oldest son was basically Static Shock. He was literally Static Shock.
I never heard of that. I gotta look it up.
Look it up on Disney Plus.
It's
a good movie for its time, bro. It's a good movie for its time.
It's a good movie the first time. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, man. It's 90s, I think early 2000s cheese. 90s?
I think I might have even watched it when it came out. Like,
it was all we had, bro.
Yes, it was.
Real talk, it was that and Meteor Man, live action one.
That needs a comeback for real.
I wouldn't mind that.
I mean,
directed by the right people.
Let me stop, because if I keep going, I'm gonna start something. Let me stop.
I would like a gritty reboot of Meteor Man.
Modern take.
I want him to be Meteor Man, though. He's actually made out of meteors. He gets struck by a meteor, and then he's made out of meteors.
Yeah, I think the only issue is that he's like wasn't he like super powerful, like reading minds?
He's kind of OP. He's limited OP, because I remember in the movie when he touched the book, he gained all the information, but it only lasted for a few seconds.
Yeah, some of that stuff gotta go.
No, because he's still limited.
Because of
he's still you find a way to make the limitations stick more.
So he can read any book he touches, right?
Well, I guess he could have. I'll have to rewatch it. He absorbed the book, like the book literally touched his skin, and he immediately knew everything in the book. And then it lasted for like 30 seconds, though. So
okay,
technically, he's canon to Marvel Comics, because they did a limited run. Shout out to Black Comic Lords, which I learned this from.
Hey, I'm gonna have to look for that, man.
Yeah, they did a limited run with Marvel, and I think he interacted with Spider-Man and a few other people. So he is.
What?
Yeah, he is sort of in the Marvel comic lore.
I thought that was Warner Brothers. Hey,
there you go.
Oh snap!
Uncle Jack.
Hey yo.
Massage chair.
Hey yo.
Hey yo. Hey yo.
Massage chair.
Hey yo. What up, man?
Symbol.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, listen, man. It's a crazy world, bro. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, he's going through one of those.
Listen, it's a crazy world, man. It's some madness going on out in these internet streets right now, man.
Lord, hey, bro, tag us.
That's just a regular ass Tuesday. That's a regular ass Tuesday.
Man, listen, a lot of madness
About to happen.
A lot of madness in these internet streets, bro.
Oh boy,
streets is quiet right now. I ain't gonna lie.
Terrible. I don't know what you're talking about on that one, brother.
He said the streets
terrible.
He said the streets is quiet right now, huh? Look, man. Look, all I'm gonna say, no subliminals, none of that, but no subliminals, man. But everybody's compromised right now. No subliminals. Everybody's in question right now, man.
Everyone's a scroll.
Absolutely, bro.
Hashtag
we gotta start putting people under review out here, man.
Yo, is it really like that?
I mean, that's the name of the game. I mean, if you're trying to make a name for yourself, yeah, you have. Look, you got to answer this. Look, the best ideal way as a content creator, if you don't want to be compromised, if you don't want sponsorships and companies and associations to kind of filter your output and your views, there's only one person you got to answer to, and that has to be your audience, your fans. That's it. Only one person you should answer to, and that's your fans, your viewership.
That's a business tip right there.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, you're compromised. Let's just be real.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you're compromised, right?
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, I
Ooh-wee.
definitely feel you on that.
To quote Math Hoffa, read between the lines. You got to read between the lines.
Man, like this. I mean, ever since 2020, man. There we go.
Yeah, I had to fix a setting on what do you call this thing?
Looking sharp, sir.
I'm digging the posters too, man. I still got one of those you gave me, man.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. But yeah, you on to something there, brother. You know what I mean? You on to something there, my man. But I heard y'all talking about comics. I want to ask a question here to y'all, right? Because I mean, the Hickman effect.
Oh.
The Jonathan Hickman effect.
Mm-hmm.
The Hickman effect, like I'm jumping right out the window because time is limited on this work night, bro. The Hickman effect. The Hickman effect has done a lot of harm to not only the X-Men property, but to the black comic book scene in general, brother.
Yeah.
The Hickman effect has done way more harm than good. And I think we're getting to the point where, because we accepted his new vision for the X-Men back in 2020, and on this podcast, we were very skeptical of that. You know, when we had Cyclops being one of the ancestors with blood from the ancients, when we had, you know, when we had the Blacksman take place earlier this year, it leads to a lot of conversations, and it leads to uncomfortable conversations. But I just got to put it out there. I think we fucked up by accepting that shit that Hickman did, bro.
Who accepted it again?
He said, "Don't call on me, shoot."
Dang, like,
man. Okay. All right. So for the audience who doesn't know, a couple of years ago, right? Jonathan Hickman got into X-Men run. X-Men comics were for the most part buried by Marvel because they didn't have the license. Marvel, the MCU got the license back to the X-Men live action film. So Marvel Comics like, okay, cool, we can put out X-Men books now. They got Jonathan Hickman, who's a really good writer. The last event book I bought was Secret Wars in 2015. Phenomenal, right? And the storytelling for the X-Men has always been an allegory of minorities and people who were disenfranchised from society. That allegory was never like in your face. It was always sort of layered, right? Sprinkled. Never sort of like, this is directly this group or that group or that group or that group. And with Jonathan Hickman's run, he essentially saw a couple Dr. Umar Johnson videos.
Exactly what happened, boy.
Took notes. And wrote out his X-Men comic books in the exact same way and manner of something you would see on a Black Conscious YouTube channel, like a Professor Griff, Umar Johnson, all those individuals out there, right? And so we were praising like, oh, the X-Men, oh, the mutants, only 4 mutants, no humans allowed, unity, and Jonathan Hickman's laying the playbook for how blacks can get freedom and all this, right? That's a direct quote. That's a direct quote. I mean, Uncle Jack's seen the comment. It's a direct quote from a user on social media. Okay.
Our hero.
The hero we need. The hero.
You're trying to get invited to the cookout. That's what that is.
Right.
Oh man.
And guess what? He got the keys to the cookout.
You got the keys to the cookout. So nothing is no longer subtle. We have Magneto's secret long lost black daughter out of nowhere.
Oh dear God.
Like, what? What are we doing?
I mean, bro, they barely know about Polaris.
Polaris, right?
Melanito.
Melanito.
Black Nita. I mean, it goes on and on and on, and it's just like the X-Men is now lost. It's almost lost its identity. It's really just. It seems like super pandering to us. It's like, hey, you're the X-Men, you're a mutant, you're black. We're gonna like you can feel just like them, and it just doesn't feel right anymore. It just feels very
mainstream black team.
Oh God!
But yet you pulling this bullshit.
And
that's all. Keep on, brother. That's all I got to say.
I don't know. My last thing is I know people are gonna complain like, oh, what's wrong with having black mutants? And like we're saying to use the ones you already got. We're saying to make ones that are like sensible. Make ones that are sensible. It doesn't seem like a far stretch. And there's already a ton of black mutants out there that can fulfill those kind of roles. Why does it seem like it's just very forced at this point? But I mean, what do you got to think about that, Charles D. Smith and Bono?
Oh man, I mean, hey,
real quick, I'm not sounding. It's not like an echo or nothing on my side, is it?
Oh no.
Okay, as far as what I think about it, I mean, it falls in line with everything else that's been getting put out for the past few years now of them trying to cater to us for whatever reason, like we don't feel like we fit in or something like that. I don't know, but like I said, Walmart is trying to do their thing again by having every other business in their store. Where just like, bro, just if you want something that specializes in something, go to that specific store. You know what I'm saying? If you want if you want a black story where we get some of our culture in there, then go to a person that has the rights to it. You know what I'm saying? That's something that has fully control of it. Yeah. So I mean, I'm just gonna always stick with that. Of course, they'll find some little like sparks in the Matrix where they like, oh man, like this actually feel like it's part of the culture. Okay, but that doesn't erase 99 of the other comic books that they put out where it's just like for real, it gets offensive at some points. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, I'm gonna still stick to where I'm at. If I'm looking for a comic book that has my culture in it, then I'll go to that. If I look for, if I want to get something else, then I'll go to them. But right now, that's where I'm at.
Preach, man. By Odin's faith.
By Odin's faith.
Hey, by Odin's faith, boy. That mess was offensive, boy. Why they got mouths out there like that? Why they got mouths, boy?
Old chick said, coming in hot wings.
Oh,
no. Ain't no way, boy. I saw that. Ain't no way. Somebody photoshopped that. Ain't no way.
What's your take on it, Charles D. Smith? What y'all think, man?
No, I gotta echo exactly what Vanel said. Like, it's
ditto. Same here.
It's
okay. So,
at this point, it'd be foolish to think otherwise.
I mean, listen, man. Whenever this video gets clipped and chopped, and Donovan throws it out on the Facebook groups, just keep an eye on that comment section, brother. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, like reading the comments is fun. It's fun reading the comments and being entertained by it. But the issue that I see here is that how can, again, no unfiltered. How can a writer that has nothing in common with us in terms of experiences, in terms of background, in terms of artistic influences, how can this person be given the label of laying the blueprint out for Black liberation? My man, like, what drives a person to type something like that into what drives a person to utter those words?
Like
what drives a person to click the thumbs up button on that?
Other likes?
Email from Marvel.
Desperation.
What drives a person? What
drove the first few people? I don't know.
Because brother, like to me, again, I'm gonna call it the Hickman effect, man. You give an inch, and again, like Donovan said, he's a great writer. Secret Invasion in 2015 was a landmark series of comic books. But in this situation, there are so many other ways that this could have been done. Like, why is Cyclops doing the Wakanda salute? Why is that happening? Why is that something that was printed in comic books?
That was, to be fair, Brian Michael Bendis before Hickman.
All right, cool.
That was like a basic Team Wolverine, Team Cyclops story.
All right,
but
cool.
It does borrow from Malcolm X. Let's just be real.
I mean, like, respectfully, Mutant Lives Matter merchandise.
Boy, what else? What else they can get their hands on to sell?
Mutant Lives Matter merchandise, T-shirts, stickers.
That really is offensive. I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty offensive. It kind of dilutes the actual movement that's being, supposed to be taken serious.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side to all of that, the blurred community is gonna get up here and tell me that I'm out of pocket for questioning.
Yeah, why you sniping?
Because I don't got. Because listen, man. Because I gotta be to work at 6. I gotta be to work at 6 o'clock in the morning, man. We gotta clear all the bullshit out. But like, the blurred community is gonna tell me that I'm out of pocket for questioning why y'all are letting a white man tell you how to be free.
This boy's not playing, bro.
This man got on here for a reason.
Yeah, bro,
go ahead.
I'm out of pocket. Where Herschel at, man? Where's Big Herschel?
Jack going Molotov cocktails in the middle of the street.
Where Big Herschel at? I mean, shout out to Big Hersch, man. Shout out to Big Hersch. Shout out to Big Herschel. But let me stay on track here, bro. Like, I'm out of pocket for that. I got called the white adjacent black person for questioning why we are allowing outside influences determine how we treat each other. I was called a cornball for asking that question, right? I was told I was out of pocket for saying Toonami is not a part of Black History Month. Like,
well, we try to pick up everything, boy.
I was told I was out of pocket for that. Yep. But somebody writes a comic book based on characters that are not created by us with allegories to real events that happen to us, and this guy gets the keys to the cookout. Is that easy? Is that easy?
I mean, it's just the simple fact that it looks like we don't know what we can actually have. Like right now, we don't own anything. You know what I mean? So I mean, the business side of things is looking crazy. Now, I know they don't see that, because they're fans and stuff like that. They're readers, they're watchers. But at the end of the day, let's call it what it is. We don't own anything, and just for us to feel like that we fit in, you know what I'm saying? They make characters that look like us and stuff like that, but they don't feel nothing like us. So I mean, it is what it is. I feel like we deserve something better. First of all, our own characters, the right to actually, produce characters and let it actually flow through the algorithm of social media and stuff like that. Because say we put out something, and as soon as we put hashtag our character, bruh, that it gets to 0 people. You know what I mean? We gotta put hashtag Miles Morales. We gotta put hashtag Black Superman. You know what I'm saying? Just for that thing to actually get to other people that's on social media. So until we're able to get past those gatekeeping stuff, as Black owners, then bro, I'm not about to deal with no Black Goku. I'm not about to deal with no
talk to him.
Black Naruto. Black Naruto.
All that, bro. It is what it is. I'm gonna just be about what I'm talking about, bro. Yeah, Black Naruto, all that.
Blaruto.
Naruto. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh, RRION. What's going on, man? Europe. Yeah. I mean, that's a true statement, man. Like we don't own anything in I guess the nerd industry, right? Comic books, video games, animation. Yeah. We still haven't been able to kind of infiltrate that stronghold yet. So you're right. We don't have a foundation. We don't really have an image. We don't really have grounds to stand upon. And I think the X-Men stuff is really just, I think it's just like fantasy. It really is fantasy. It's just like wish fulfillment. And they're already popular. It's the X-Men. They're already popular. So it's like a sense of pride. Like, oh, look, they're borrowing our stories. It's not really to be proud about. You know what I mean? Right. It's not really, we don't own it. We don't control it. And for them to use our resources to fulfill their storytelling
out of pocket.
And we're not, I mean, there's no black writers on the main X-Men title. Like we mentioned before, where was the talent behind the pen? We writing side stories, spin-offs. Storm has a book coming out. You know, I'm talking about Storm's book right now, bro. Like Storm got a solo series right now. That's just, none of this stuff is being really treated with care and tenderness per se, right?
There's no soul with nothing, bro.
Yeah, man. Comics as a whole has been kind of quiet.
but I mean, look, man. I don't know, brother. I mean, you got to send for the Phantom. You got to send for the Phantom, man. send for the Phantom, brother.
Hold on. Yeah. Shit. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, what's up?
What up, man? What up? Glad you could join us, bro.
NWO in the house.
NWO in the house, man. Holy shit.
But I mean, that's some real spill right there, bro. Because this is getting nasty out here, brother. You know what I mean? And for y'all, for Ronell, Charles, Donovan, for y'all is dudes that are really behind the pen, telling stories and trying to make things happen. I do want to ask y'all this question here while everybody is on. As writers, is there a challenge of not going with low-hanging fruit? Is there a challenge to kind of be focused on the stories that you're trying to tell because you have a vision that you want to carry out? How does that go up against some of the bullshit that you see out here being floated around in entertainment, comics, movies, TV? How do you stay on course with your vision?
I mean, to be for real, they have a system in place where you kind of have to. If you don't, then you're just gonna be another speck in the wind, if that makes sense. So say right now, this is it's a couple of different controversial stuff that's going on right now. You can't literally just do your own thing and not focus on the controversial stuff that's blowing up right now that everybody's trying to search for. So you kind of have to cater to what's being talked about just so you can kind of catch the wave and get your own name up and stuff like that. So the system is literally built for you not to, sway away from what's going on. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'd say it's difficult. It is very difficult because me and Charles have talked about this before. There's mad influence on us as writers and creators right now. 30 years ago, new comic book writers did not have the influence that we have right now. We're cartoons with this oversaturation, overconsumption. Even the littlest thing that you do, you don't even know subconsciously you were influenced by a trend. You were influenced by a Superman comic. You were influenced by a Spider-Man comic. And so the thing is how do you create something with your own spin on it, with your own taste, where it's different enough from what you were inspired by? Because anyone can do generic black Superman. Anyone can do generic black Iron Man. Anyone can do generic black Wolverine. But it's going to take more creativity, more imagination. Anyone can do black Goku. But it's going to take something more deep to try to get out of that influence. And this is just in general. This is just all comic book writers, whatever, in general, are influenced by all this mass consumption of media and stories. So it's really trying to find your lane and trying to figure out what makes mine special, what makes mine so unique. Otherwise, you're a drop of water in the sea. That's essentially what's happening right now. Everyone is a drop of water in the sea. Hey, how can you notice me if my shit is just like everybody else. And how would you even look for me if my shit, you can just go to the comic book store and get Superman. Why get my version of Superman and you just get Superman from DC Comics?
Yep.
So it's literally just trying to find your lane, man. It's trying to find your lane and try to find something that's fresh enough and unique enough in your own style to make it seem like it's just not another knockoff, great value, off-brand version of something that's out right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in the sense of content, like the actual book, like what's inside your actual book, like I remember it was a few different books I had to just completely toss away because it was sounding a little too much like something that's already been put out. So as far as what I got going on is it has to be something completely different. You know what I mean? And the thing is, us as people are part of the culture, we don't really have to try that hard, to be honest, if we just stick with our culture, because our culture has never been out there like that unless it's like, say, the old school Milestone. So we really don't have to try that hard. You know what I'm saying? It's like right now, again, anime, they have just so many different things that's coming out, whatever. Of course, Marvel and DC, which is like the Caucasian culture, they basically kind of still stuck on the old school stuff that they had back in the past. And again, we never came up with anything for our stuff. So it's like, man, like anything we put out for real, it's really just gonna be fresh. Like again, the antagonist. You know what I mean? Like for us, that just works. You know what I mean? Right. Like it's an obvious touch. That just works. Even the dude from Black Sands. I mean, like, bruh, it's plenty of different stuff that we can put out. It's just like, is it going to get the support it needs? You know what I mean? Like I said, we missing out, bro. We missing out on so many different stuff. And we could come up with those trends like we used to. When we used to come out with the trends with the rap music, when we used to come out with the trends with I remember when Iverson did the tattoos back in NBA, whatever. Everybody started doing tattoos.
The sleeve, the headband.
We got it, bro, for real.
So that brings me to O Kingdom Come, right? Charles, brother Charles, right? So with something like that, that goes back to what it says right on the slide sleeve of your book. Tell our own stories, right? How important is that? How important is telling our own stories, Charles?
Yeah, no, it's exactly like Vanilla and Dion were just saying, like, we don't have any other choice. You want your stuff to be looked at all. You gotta find a way to put your voice in it, right? So anything, same thing. If I'll be writing something, I'm like, it sounds too much like this, and I toss it. Like, why put the time in something that's gonna be, like a drop in the ocean and we're all waving the same. You know what I mean? So I think that's literally the main path of success, especially for longevity and critically too. I think stories like ours that haven't been seen will have a different eye to a critic than knockoffs and something with a twist, whatever, but he's black, all that stuff. I think it's just
black insert person here.
Black insert man.
Literally black man. Literally black man.
Wow.
Again,
all you got is a black marker, like
black man.
No, bro. It's the whole cover is just black, and it looks like someone just standing there.
Don't forget to add the fist,
shit. Cause I mean, I guess my last kind of jump off point here is, and you make an interesting point by now, in that most times we just stick to our culture. There's something that comes out of it that hasn't been seen before. I feel that with the entertainment industry, not even specifically just comics, the issue is that I think there's a fear of giving us too much. There's a fear of allowing us in the door too much, because we could just take over with new and fresh ideas on a constant basis.
No idea.
Right? So in response to that, we're kind of patronized, we're placated, where our culture is recycled and then dictated back to us, and then we're told you can have this small piece of it right here because this is what we think looks black. This is what we think black culture would like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, there's a reason why on BET there's no science fiction, there's no fantasy, there's no BET version of Game of Thrones.
But
there are about 5 different dramas and 3 different reality TV shows, right? But black people love Game of Thrones. But why can't BET produce its own Game of Thrones? Oh, I wonder why. You know what I'm saying? I'm going off on a tangent, but taking that related to the comic books industry, like we were saying, there's so much fear of what black creators can do that it's condensed and it's put into a bubble and subgenre to just being black comics instead of being comic books. Instead of it being a form of entertainment created by us for everybody, it's recycled, and then all the creators are put in one box and they're fighting for one corner of a small box.
Facts, man. Facts.
Like,
Yep. That's it.
And I mean, that's that applies to a lot of different areas, but you know, if we start talking like this, we get labeled hoteps and all of that shit. Though.
Too late, by the way.
Way too late.
Too late. Orion and D. Smith, what are you guys, as fans of comic books and pulp culture and mediums, like, what do you think are some of the things that, I guess, black independent comic book creators and writers can do to help get you guys more access to the material and to the stories, where it's basically trying to find a needle in a haystack, right? And it's like, what is the one thing you think you could suggest creators to get the word out and get their books in front of you, so you can even have the option of knowing, like, oh, this looks cool, let me check it out?
Can I take it? Can I take this one?
Go ahead, man.
No.
So, quick question I need to ask you guys before I answer that question is, how many African stories have you guys listened to or read in your whole entire life, like as an experience?
I mean, I'll set this one out.
3 for me.
3.
Yeah, it's been.
How much of the mythology have you guys understood out of African culture?
Orion cooking, man.
Quite a bit.
Only
okay,
two.
That's
Only
missing
two.
that is missing tidbits we're missing out of our culture, is putting that out there in front of millions, Hollywood, all that stuff like that. We're missing out on that stuff, and for it to be translated in comic book, man, y'all could do super fantasy, y'all could sci-fi the fuck out of that shit. Y'all can bring your own, what you guys said, Game of Thrones, but with a little African culture and stuff like that. There's a lot of African stories that's not being told, and I've highly suggest, like, I feel like our culture could stand alone just as much as Japanese culture, stand alone as Chinese culture, stand alone as Middle Eastern Indian culture and stuff like that. African culture is something that could stand alone, and Wakanda and Black Panther is a testament to that we can do our own shit. I know we can. We just don't put enough effort, and we don't done enough studies, and there's not enough things going on in our school system that's teaching us exactly African culture. Black history, but where the fuck is Black culture? Do they even have stuff like that in college, where they teach more about African culture and stuff like that, That's stuff that you can find out on your own, or hopefully you have a grandma that'll teach you, celebrate Hanukkah with you or anything, but there's a missing element that I feel like they could stand on its own, and I feel like that comic books could have done it justice very well. Take some inspiration, because as right now, the other question I was getting ready to ask is, how many of their shit can actually be original now, man? It seems like it's always a bite off or a sample or something, or we're remixing something, We have our own shit. We really do. We just don't put too much effort in spreading the word. I feel like
support.
We need to take those stories and put it in screens, put it in books, put it in comics, those stories could stand alone at as a test of time, just like Japanese. Because how many times am I gonna watch Schoolgirls and Academies and all that other shit? You know, the motherfucking anime.
Right.
What's going on? Well, what's going? We got like everybody talking like, I wish Wakanda was real. Take your ass to South Africa. It's real.
Well, hold on. What I'm gonna say, and not to cut you off, D Smith. No, go ahead. Actually, D Smith, get your shit off, brother. Go ahead, brother. No, get your shit off, bro.
What O said was what O said was right on point, but more what I was gonna go to. There's stuff out here. Going back to when I first met you two, Donovan and Uncle Jack. Remember what I said? How are people gonna come if they don't know that it exists? I'm not like other people. I always look and search, and I'm always out for the hunt, and I'm always finding new stuff to read, particularly Black shit. I find a lot of Black shit out here, and it's out here, but the problem is there isn't enough. We need to set ourselves up to where we can find it more easily, more palpable, because we're spread out too far, or someone like me has to jump through like 5 hoops to find what I'm looking for. But the stuff is out here. What we really need is a dedicated storefront or dedicated place to and support it, and also advertise, fucking advertise. So people who are looking for this shit can find this shit. Like where I live, for anybody who's listening, I live in Texas, and we have the where I live in Houston, we have the only Black comic book shop in Houston. I've been there. Great place, good stuff. I know not to diss any of the people there or talk down or anything. I know more stuff than the owner does about books that are out there. And I'm going there and I'm telling him, bro, look at this. He's like, oh, I didn't know. And he Googled it and he immediately added it to the list because he didn't know. Because he didn't know that particular thing existed. So I think it's more about us having a place to put everything, as well as supporting, as well as advertising, as well as sharing it. The thing we do the most online with any community is do what? We share. We sit up here and start like passing shit out. Look what I found. Look
cosplay.
Sharing.
Look what I got. Like you said, pull list. Look at this. Look word of mouth.
If it's one thing that the Black culture dominates in, I mean, it's plenty of stuff. But if it's one thing, that's hype. We know how to hype
most definitely
to the max, but my dude.
Most definitely.
But the thing is, what kind of stops us as far as the nerd culture, or whatever you want to call it, is that it's not popular. You know what I'm saying? It's not popular to share, Black owned stuff like that in the comic book realm and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because in other businesses, for real, they be eating that stuff up. Like, especially you find a new soul food restaurant on the block, bruh, you don't need no advertisement. You know what I'm saying? Just one Black person need to find out about your business, and that thing gonna spread like wildfire.
Well, hold on.
Wait, Uncle Jack. Let me say this one thing to the brother.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
But the main problem is, bro, is anime. They on that anime tit too fucking hard. Because I've been trying to cultivate some people, and they sit up here and go, well, I like Japanese culture. I'll be like, motherfucker.
Hold on. So the question I want to ask, going back to what you said there, Vonell, why is it that, and I mean, D. Smith partially answered the question as well, but why is it that in this particular space, in this particular fandom, in terms of the consumption of entertainment, why is it difficult for support to be gathered? Why is it difficult for the promotion? Why is it challenging? What is the disconnect between the community of people who are out here consuming all of these forms of entertainment and getting them into supporting Black creators?
I got you. I mean, it's pretty easy because to answer that one because it's all in our faces, and that's that we've been conditioned to not support one another. And it also, when we dealing with a generation where back in the day, this stuff won't cool. You know what I'm saying? So now you got a whole generation of black folks that they see like, you know what I'm saying, the comic book and stuff like that, they don't know how to support people. Like they don't know, like that's not the first thing that comes to mind. The first thing that comes to mind though is like, hey, look, you got a black owned business. Can I get a discount? You know what I'm saying? We've been conditioned that way versus like, hey, look, as soon as they see something like, oh snap, new comic book, let me share. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no way that we share something like this. It has really good art and stuff like that, pretty cool characters and stuff like that. And it shouldn't spread like wildfire. Like the promotion side ain't it. It's like I shouldn't have to put $1 into promotion for real. Like if we really the hype culture, you know what I'm saying? Like Naruto, they don't have to put $1 into no promotion and stuff like that.
It works differently.
You don't have to do that. We got them. You know what I'm saying?
It works differently, or we have to find another way, brother. It works differently. We have to find another way.
Yeah.
How many TikToks has King Vader done of like?
Oh shit!
Or the influencers, right? Because all it takes is one of them to start doing it, but they won't do it because it's not. Just one, right? But it's the popularity. And I'll go double back to what Orion. I honestly, sadly, man, only 2 African stories: O Kingdom Come and Anansi. That's it.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I'll quote a little bit like Paul Mooney. Most of us, the Blurds, we write in Africa off like a bad check. Ooh. In terms of acknowledgement, in terms of that well of storytelling and identity.
Why?
And
Jack, please talk on cocktails. I'm right there next to you, but I'm holding mine back.
Go ahead, cut the feed real quick.
What I'm saying,
I ain't know it was gonna be that type of chat.
And D Smith is right. A lot of people don't want to do the work. Like Dragon Ball Z, boom, you can get it. Superman, boom, you can get it. Spider-Man, boom. It's so easy to find all the mainstream stuff. Doesn't take no effort. It's low effort. It's literally low-hanging fruit. You just grab it, no problem. But our material is like you have to dig a little deeper. Not everyone's going to go through the effort like D. Smith to find these stories and to find these comics. So in this information age, right, it's just like back in the 90s, sure. You know what I'm saying? Back in 2000s, maybe, sure. But in 2023, with Google and a smartphone at your fingertip, and you can't find these stories, is that a reflection of the access, or is that a reflection on you? Right, pass up.
Hey, I'm on the sidelines, brothers. I'm gonna be listening in, man.
All right, man. Thanks for stopping by, bro.
I appreciate every one of y'all, brothers. Orion, wherever you at, keep doing your thing and stay safe out there, brother. I know you've been on the road for a little while, man. Make it home safe, bro.
I'm on the road, yeah.
Yeah, make it home safe, brother.
I appreciate it.
Hey, Vonell, hey, you gotta pull up to the Discord, bro.
Oh,
I got you, bro. I got you. I know I've been a little quiet. I got you though.
Yeah, man. Hey,
we might do. You show up.
Hey, we might do this again in about a week, man. But y'all brothers be easy. I'm listening in, man.
All right,
man.
All right, peace.
All right, so to add to what you guys are talking about, like that we gotta make our stuff a little bit more accessible to the public eye, so people know about what we're capable of creating, everything else. A lot of that also has to we have to make sure that we produce quality when it comes to
most definitely,
because like I've seen like it's I'm not trying to sound mean or anything else when it comes to like when you create something you should be like entitled like, oh, you're supposed to support Black business because this is a Black made particular product, item, whatever you decide to make. Like I'm not trying to say that all Black businesses will run shit like how Soulja Boy would try to sell a game console and stuff like that and try to run it off.
This man taking shots.
Unnecessary, sir.
You can't be putting bullshit out there and expecting Black folks to be like, but you're supposed to support black business. Like, but this is not your own shit.
I agree.
It's not your own shit, you know. So
I
we
agree.
got to make sure that we put enough quality out there and is get the right press and stuff, you know, because honestly, the stories that we sitting on, man, it could be sitting in the Boulevard of Broken Dreams, or it actually could actually be implemented if pushed the right way, you know. And we need
True.
great executives and stuff like that, great hype men to put out a black created item out there, you know, a black created product out there to be like, hey, this is it, you know. I mean, because how many times are we going to sit here and allow like corporations take over, you know, our culture when we can do it on our own? Like, I don't know how many times I got to see like a product collaboration with another artist or something like that, or a particular art, or McDonald's saying, "Hey, this is a Travis Scott," you know, stuff like that. I say, "Yo, what? Where is our fucking franchise and stuff like that? Why can't we have a black-owned franchise? Why can't we have a black-owned car dealership? Why can't we have an all-black-owned something? You know, like
Yeah,
we
correct.
we owe it to ourselves to have those amenities. I mean, those assets here in this in so-called America, something like that. You know, this is supposed to be an equal opportunity area. You know, like, and every now and then I've always asked the same question, stuff like that. It's like, hey, where are our black and our corporation business stuff like that? You know, we always seem to have to start from the bottom, you know, like with fruits, like when it comes to like food and everything else, you know, like we have to work hard, like a soul food restaurant. We have to work hard to put that, you know, Jamaican food. We got to work hard to promote that. We got to work hard to promote our cultures out there and stuff, you know, and we all got to work together and promoting those all black owned like ventures and stuff like that, you know, food trucks, comic book stores, shoe stores. Like a lot of these, like, you know, stores, they're like, I'm seeing that the clothing market and the shoe market has gone crazy. That's becoming more black owned these days and stuff like that, because the resale value on stuff is getting crazy out there and stuff, you know. But we got to get to the point that we're always supporting each other and make sure that the people that bring stuff out to sell, to be supported, needs to be of quality and can't be bullshit, you know. Again, I'm shots to that whole Soulja Boy shit. You can't bring bullshit out there and expect people to support you, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's real talk, and I definitely second, third, fourth that, because not only are we, let me put it to you this way, because again, it's all the whole conditioning thing, where we not only are, say, we just being quiet about it, which is like the worst thing you can do. So not only you're not sharing it, you're not speaking on it, you know what I'm saying, whether that be negative or positive, and you're not buying nothing, right? So when we don't even say, like, because like when Naruto comes out, right, we got Boruto, you got negative comments and you got positive comments, and the thing is, everything's being shared, everything's being talked about, and you know, we have the critics also saying something too. So when, say, somebody put out their new book and stuff like that, ain't nobody trying to be honest, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, look, this needs some work, this needs to go back to the oven. You know, you need to work on your writing, you need to work on your grammar and stuff like that. Like, but saying it in, of course, a respectful way. Like, we gotta respect each other as well. So even if you're not buying it, bruh, you can definitely, you know what I'm saying, at least give the same pointers you gave to Boruto and all this other stuff, you know, the same thing to that. So, and on top of that, oh man, let me calm down.
Go ahead, man.
Calm down. Let me calm.
Cooking,
all right.
Go.
Yo, I mean, as a community, man, we just have to fight through the conditioning that we've been drilled through, because right now it's like, okay, we're quick, of course, to share the prestige work of Marvel and DC. We talk about videos all the time. Marvel and DC is not paying these different influencers anything. They just talk about it, they cosplay as it and stuff like that. You know, of course, it's promotion, right? When it comes to us, of course, they got to charge $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, like unreasonable prices and stuff like that. Yeah, we understand that we don't have the prestige of these other different companies, but Jesus, like, it's like, yo, once we pay this, if nothing comes out of that, we don't get any type of refunds back, but either we're shutting down or it's going to be another 6 months before we can do something else, because we have no more funds. We done put it all into this one influencer that we, that again, that's gatekeeping, or other, different platforms that's gatekeeping. So it's like, man, it's other stuff that's stopping the spread of Black-owned content and stuff like that.
Man, I got a fire question from Uncle Jack, and I'll let you go first, Farnell. All right, you ready?
What's up?
This is a doozy. Uncle Jack asks, question for the panel: was Ripper right about the industry model?
I mean, definitely. Like, well, I mean, I want to say what's specifically, because there's a lot of different stuff that Ripper be saying, but a lot of stuff he says is true.
Oh boy,
I would say
killing the guy was warranted. Like, which part are we?
Charles on the cocktail full ass just yoked it. Like,
which part, bro? Yeah, which part of the industry model?
Young Ripper is pro-independent, anti-establishment. He is monetize your haters. He has a whole thing where he knows he's not going to work for Marvel and DC. He knows there's a group of people who will never support him, never select him. He'll never go in the industry. He answers essentially to one entity, and that's his fans. That is it. He doesn't get sponsors. He doesn't get, all of it is basically essentially, I don't pander to nobody. I make my stuff. I make it for my fans. Whether you dig my fans or not, it doesn't matter, because they support me. Screw everything else. I don't care if you call me Uncle Tom. I don't care if you call me a coon. I don't care if you call me whatever. I know that these guys are going to support me, and I'm not broke. People who work for Marvel and DC are broke. I'm not broke. I'm not, begging at the front door for them to let me write their comics. I'm not wishing and praying for a Netflix deal. I'm doing my thing over here, and I'm good. You guys can fight amongst each other. You guys can basically kiss the asses of the people on Twitter, the Marvel writers and the editors and all this other shit. I ain't worried about that, because he knows essentially it's his fans he only answers to, and the industry is broken. That's his whole forte, essentially. And I'm trying to condense as best as I can.
I mean, I completely agree. I mean, a lot of his stuff that he's saying is really obvious, for real. I mean, he definitely picks a good battle. He picks all the good battles and stuff like that. What he's saying is, I mean, it's obvious. Like, why would you argue? Like, why would McDonald's argue with, let's say, Cheesecake Factory customers? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not their customers. I mean, that's not McDonald's customers. McDonald's customers is a completely different demographic. So, I mean, he's not wrong as far as that aspect goes. And also, I mean, he has his own platform that he's built for years. Like, everything that he's did, the $2 million or not, is well over $2 million. Well, the multi-million-dollar stuff that he made, it all makes sense only because that he rallied everybody that wanted something. You know what I'm saying? He rallied everybody together, and then he made a product for those people to buy, those angry people to buy, that's angry at Marvel and DC or what they're doing, the woke people and stuff like that. They're everybody that he's been preaching to for years and stuff like that. Again, he routed them together, put out a product, made millions of dollars, and within a couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying? Within a week, for real. Again, it makes complete sense as far as what his motto goes. And people that's getting mad at him or try to twist his words around need to chill out if they're going to be in this industry, and actually pay attention to what he's done. Because I mean, I'm not saying I agree with 100% what he's saying. I'm not saying like, hey, look, he's some type of like higher up or you know what I'm saying? I just, whenever something's right, I'm gonna say it's right, and whenever something's wrong, I'm gonna say it's wrong. And what the guy is doing, it's something to be learned from it.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. When it came to him versus Black Sands, he came out on top.
Oh, I mean, he's been frying. He fries people for a living. Black Sands, they kind of do that, but they're more of like defending themselves. Ripper, this dude is an attacker. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody that goes on a debate with him, it's like versus Eminem. You know what I mean? Like he's just that dude that argues with people all the time. I remember he ripped this one dude to shreds. Like, it was, I forgot. He had, oh man, I'm not even gonna try to
talk about Blood Without Fear.
Oh man, I seen that one too. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he picks his battles, man. The dude picks his battles well.
Right,
he knows how to turn things around.
Right, Charles, what are you thinking, man?
Man, so this has always been a conflict for me because, as you know, I definitely took a different approach with the book. And it might be a naive approach.
No, it isn't.
ISOM's not very good. It's just when you make that much money off of books and no one's like reviewing it and talking about it much or talking about how great it is, I feel like you found a niche for commercially, and that's never been anything I want to like do. Like I never thought of it. Obviously, I want my book to explode and be millions of dollars, but that was like second to making like a very good book.
I'm gonna comment on this in a second. Go ahead and cook.
Yeah, and that's pretty much with anything I want to make. It's more about making something very good because I feel like those just a matter of time for someone to find that rather than hype train right now, make your money right now, and then you run out, make money right now, and that I don't think there's longevity in that. I don't think. I might be completely wrong, but it's always been for me to make a very, very good product and then tackle everything else like while you're doing it because you have something that you can actually show to somebody and like know that okay, this is actually going to go somewhere. Obviously, as Dion says, without the clout hammer, that doesn't mean shit. That don't mean shit until you have the clout hammer. But man, once you get that clout hammer, it's gonna take a while for them to take it from your grasp. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's always been, and going with what Orion said, very good book, like a very good product because I've always said how Netflix took over. I always talk about how Netflix took over, and they hit you with House of Cards and Stranger Things and they hit you with all these shows that Netflix became synonymous with good TV. That's how they took over. Like, oh, what is that on Netflix? Oh shit, I gotta check it out. That's what it was before everybody ran into streaming. So it was unfortunate that when Black comics were blowing up, we didn't take that approach with our first books. There were more knockoffs. So Black comics don't have this aura of was that by a Black creator? Oh shit, that must be fine. That's not the aura. It's unfortunately it's what is it, a Black Superman? It's a Black Spider. What is it?
Let me guess, he's gonna fight the cops.
Right. Police brutality.
Yeah. So unfortunately now we're trying to undo this aura that we already have from these, years of putting comics out with good work, but it's gonna take time to get to that because I don't want to just be great Black comics. It's like let's take out J.K. Rowling, let's take out Neil Gaiman, we gotta take them out, and then then we're in, and now J.K. Rowling's doesn't have to write another book. She wrote that in a bar on a napkin.
On a napkin.
Make me another IP.
And we can do it. I've read books, man. It's there. I just feel like it takes a lot of people believing in themselves and maybe approach and maybe looking into other genres, to talk about all that. But we're there. The talent's there. The stories are there. They're original. I think we just have to think about what they did with anime. They all ran to shonen. Shonen's the main thing. It's Shonen Jump. That's the main label. One big thing, and this one's probably more sticky, is I always say that we should. I would love to curate. I would love to get on a label that people want to curate really good books and just make a massive label, rather than this person. There's just so many. Somebody did in a Facebook post.
We need a green book, Charles. We need a green book.
On how to do it. I mean, it's true. Somebody's got it right. They need the clout hammer, right, Dion?
Yeah. We need our own green book again. You know what a green book was, right?
Yeah. How the stores for black owned businesses around the country, right? That'd be dope. You should. That's a smart idea. But somebody made a post once, and this really stuck out to me. He's like, I wish all the black creators would come together and form a massive company. And sure enough, the comments were, "Oh, we already did that. My company name. Oh, we're doing that right now. My company name. 30 different companies."
Bro, I remember. I think
Like,
I wonder what you're talking about.
The question?
Like, yo.
Like, oh, we're doing that right now. My company. I would love to curate, and it doesn't have to be ego. Leave ego. Like, we know we want to conquer something. So, like, that's not on the table. Like, leave that at home and curate and put some shit out and make these guys scared. Because if they all see, like, oh, that's really cool. Holy shit, that's the same label again. If they see that 3-4 times, people are gonna start looking different.
That prestige name starts. That's how you grow old school. That's how you grow old school clout.
That's it.
Just keep making prestige things.
That's a tough pill. That's a tough one. That one alone is a tough one because someone will be like, "Oh, I'm already. Why would I do that?" You know what I mean? Like, so it's not a. It's a different kind of mindset than because I probably want to make 2 IPs. That's it. I don't need a label for that. I'll happily go under somebody, and
we'll make it fit. We'll make it fit, Uncle Jack.
That doesn't fit into the program. Hey, I'm trying, Uncle Jack.
But
I'm trying, bro. But that's the biggest thing, man. The talent is there. Like, that's without bar none. The stories are there. It's just those tweaks, like, let's collab, let's get together, let's freak them out, let's scare them, let's stop trying to be like them and start making them scared. So,
I'm
gonna have to take that quote,
brother.
Hey man, there's not enough market share for all of us, bro.
There's not enough what?
There's not enough market share for all of us.
Oh, get the fuck out of here!
Either one of us or none of us.
Where are you gonna fit us with all those ISOM books going around?
But I do want to address that one thing you talked about ISOM, right? So because I'm actually making a video that talks about how the story does not matter anymore in comic books, right?
Man, don't do it. Don't drop it.
Huh? For like real talk. Like if you look at it, like Ripper, like main example, right? Dude has never done a book in his life, never. But he makes more than Black Sands have ever made. Like people that's been in business for 10 years.
He's been outselling the pros, the best of the best writers of Marvel and DC, not the indie, the pros, man. I'll do their Kickstarters.
Exactly. Like if it's a formula out there that's like, okay, what is the secret formula in today's era? It does not include story at all. Because, like, to be honest with you, I'm not sure anybody else. I don't know how anybody. Again, me personally, when he pitched the idea of what his book was about, it did not interest me at all. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying that it did not interest me at all. So I didn't buy ISOM 1 and I didn't buy ISOM 2, but I was gonna buy it if people were saying like, "Yo, this is good. It's actually about this and this and that." Like maybe he just didn't know how to pitch it. Sure, but I've been seeing the reviews about it, and of course, I have to filter through all the different biased people and go to the ones that's actually like, okay, you're not a big fan of Ripper.
It's greatly packaged. It's amazing.
Yeah, like, bro, like it's
like what?
Bro, I talk about exactly what you just said in the video. I just finished editing. It'll be here this week. Like, for real, I did talk about
like
that. But
20 videos about packaging. I'm like, I've never heard the word package so much in my life.
Like, and I'm so serious. So when it came to the actual book, now that again, millions of people, I mean not millions, but he made millions of dollars, never having a writing credit at all.
Yeah,
and he can make all this money. So again, the story didn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? It just really matters about, can you have a good talk game? Do you have the right packaging? Do you have the right following and message? Or the stuff that's on the outside of the pages. So, of course, you can have great art and stuff like that. But again, And today, and this is why I feel like a lot of stuff is failing nowadays, because I'm not sure if I'm being too harsh of a critic, but I'm gonna be real with you. There's maybe 2 or 3 indie comic books that actually had good stories.
Yeah,
like for real. Like I've read a lot of different books. If I was being completely honest, the art is not going to sway me. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything.
Man, you better go off. You better go off.
Have y'all ever heard of a book called Magnus?
Oh shit! Don't go off,
bro. Hold on. I'm gonna be respectful. I'm gonna be real with you, because this is, if we don't say things like this, books is never gonna grow, right? That is critically. I mean, can I say it? Can I?
Go ahead.
Y'all gonna let me?
I'm just being stupid.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to be very respectful here, because with this book right here, it was like a 6, maybe a 7 out of 10, if I'm being nice.
Okay.
Right. The art was 10 out of 10. Beautiful. You know what I mean? The lettering was crazy. Like, I was taking notes. You know what I'm saying? I was taking notes off the art as well. I was taking notes out of, like, even it came to the dialogue, right? But the story was soulless. I read book 1, book 2, book 3. Like, bro, what does the main character even want? What does the main character even need?
I see it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the flaws? And of course, I saw some different like plot holes as well. Like, it's this huge explosion, and his stick girl right beside him, she's still alive. Like, yo, like it's a lot of different things that's wrong with the book. As far as when it comes to the story, but everything else was, again, amazing. And then of course it has the Prestige brand as well. But like I said, man, we not focusing on story at all. And the question is, do we even need to? You know what I mean? Of how things are selling right now. Things are not selling because of the story. That's point blank, period. It's only selling because of everything else around it. Again, art, the person that's producing the book, the brand, the hype, stuff like that, or the side story of like, I'm producing this book because my dog died, and I just wanted to, like, bro, like all this other stuff, man, and nothing really has the story, and that's why we're always drifting away further and further from actually creating a good storytelling book. You know what I mean? And people's excuse is like, man, first of all, forget you trash. And then second of all, it's a comic book, so it don't really need story because it has art. Like, it's a comic book. Go read a novel. I'm like, yo, like, that's not constructive criticism.
You heard that as an actual thing?
Oh yeah, I've heard people say that. I've heard a big, I guess a big person actually say that it's a visual medium. It doesn't need to be that deep of stuff. Kingdom Come actually sells more among novel readers. Funny enough, I actually sell to more novel readers than actual.
Just requires higher
and they buy books. They buy a lot of books. Actually.
Oh yes, they do.
Novel people actually buy books. I low key want people to like, yo, you might want to dip out of. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers are buying books. But I love what you said there, because same thing with and I'll say Black Sands and Homeboy. A lot of these guys, they didn't really want to tell a story. They wanted to have a business, to be honest. They wanted to have a business. So that's where you make the decision. Is that, do you want to have a business? And I feel like you can have both, but you can't try to have both, if that makes sense.
No, you're right.
I think you have to pick one.
That's the rebuttal. That's the rebuttal against story. Oh, sales equals credibility. That's it. Oh, my story sucks. I got more sales than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means you have a, because I mean, you hear it all the time. Like, yeah, I got bestseller. Does that mean you had best story? No, not at all. Best seller. And that's what sells your book, is that, hey, look, I got bestseller. Oh man, this book must be good. No.
That's what it used to be. That's what it used to be.
The same game. That is not the same game.
Yeah. But yeah, that's true. A lot of the guys I don't even think care for writing really. I see a lot of comics where it doesn't really have a voice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They're kind of going through the motions. It's like you're just okay, next scene. This is what happened here. Oh, obvious. And then exposition. Next scene, exposition. Boom.
I'm gonna monologue over the city as I stand over
monologue.
Oh,
yeah.
That does.
Y'all be a disrespectful.
That shit, all that like narration bubbles. It's like
a lot of just going through the motions, like going through like. I get it. I know you want to go to B. We're gonna get there. Tell me about this guy. What are his motivations? No, it's just this is gonna. Oh, we're gonna get to that part that's gonna be so crazy, and then the issue's over. That's pretty much what it is. I always think like I'm like, okay, if you had to take one of your issues to somebody that's gonna give you a bunch of money and offer, which issue would you take? And they'd be like, oh, probably issue 3. I'm like, okay, then you're wrong. It should be your first issue. Why is your book not good to issue 3? Why isn't your book good to issue 3? It should be your first issue. If you say anything besides your first issue, then you need to restart. You need to start from the beginning, or make your book longer, or something. Because why do we have to wait? Like, it's not everybody's gonna invest in your time and appreciate what you've done to put this together. They're gonna be okay. I'm gonna dive in and check how the water is. It's a little too cold for me, and get their towel and leave. So I agree with you 100% on. I think a lot of the guys, it's business. What's the business model, and then the rest of us. You know what I'm saying?
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Mr. McDuffie had the vision. Look what they did with it.
Oh, so
Reggie Helen ate Mr. McDuffie. Oof, respectfully so. No one's like Dwayne McDuffie, but yeah, it's not. It's definitely not the same vision, same direction.
Bro, that was our leader right there.
Spectacle, there it is.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Spectacle over story.
I'm gonna try and be a more spectacle for another IP.
And actually being a professional boxer.
I make money boxing. Yep, that's it.
Oh, Magnus.
Why'd you put that up? Why would you, bro?
Hey, I mean, like I said,
no, that's what you said. That's what we're saying, right? We're trying to do honest critiques, right?
No, you're right.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Honest critiques.
I told the creator the same similar thing. Beautiful. And I haven't read 2 or 3. I gotta jump on this. Beautiful, but one, critical side of me. Anything that is very close to a very big IP, I'm completely out. Like, so if you want to make The Boys with black people or Invincible with black people, I typically I'm no. What? Yeah, how are you gonna compete with The Boys? Why are you making? Why knock off something so huge? Like, why? What's the point of that? It's not a trend. No one's like, I just watched The Boys. Let me watch this black version. Nobody says that.
Right.
Nobody says that. Nobody does that. Find something at Dion's day.
Got to find something else. Next channel.
Nobody says that. Nobody does that. So anything that's way too close to another IP, it just I don't see the point. These things take time, These things take time. Why invest at all into something that somebody will just say? And human brains, they associate. That's the first thing they do. So as soon as it's black version of yada yada, you're never gonna be high in their brain. Like they're not gonna think on your work.
Right.
So that's one of my biggest knockoffs. So yeah, man.
Look, we're haters. We're haters right now, man.
Let me ask a question.
And all this could make you a hater.
Let me ask a question though. Do you think it's too late for a black? I'm not saying that we need to have a black Superman or a black Goku and stuff like that, but do you think it's too late to actually have an original story of our own black superhero who's just as strong enough as Superman or Goku? You think
I can answer that right now.
because they made their marks in the fucking 40s, 50s, and 60s and stuff, you know, like Superman and all that stuff. And then like in Asia and of course in Japan and stuff like that, they had their mark with Goku, Dragon Ball.
And I'll say this, Orion, with what you just said. So ask that same question before Goku was made, and the Asian culture made it Goku. Mm-hmm. It's an original thing from the Monkey King. That's their mythology.
That's where it came from.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just about to lean into that, but my thing of it is we need to stop aiming for superheroes.
Right.
That's a tough one.
That needs to stop. There's other things besides superheroes. No offense to you, brother, because your stuff is good. Your stuff is fire. But
you have like a family dynamic. He has like a family dynamic. It's a little bit.
Yeah. But I mean,
they gangsters. They not heroes. I'm playing, but
that's a tagline. What you doing? They ain't heroes. They're gangsters. That's a tag.
That's real talk. Let me put one in there. And this is why I'm saying that we got the culture, right? This is what makes our stuff different. Is that like the main dude up here, right? Which is Quan, right? He, of course, the image is that he's a superhero, right? But he's not really a superhero. He's just trying to clean up the environment so his cousins can live in a better neighborhood and stuff like that. Because if he let them, if he just ignored the villains that's going around, they eventually gonna get to his family. So that doesn't make him a hero, as in, hey, if his family is in danger, forget the civilians. He taking his family, he's out. You know what I'm saying? So that really doesn't make him a superhero. He's literally just doing his own agenda, but it looks like he's a hero. You see what I'm saying?
A gang drama with powers.
Yeah, I mean, like if your brother is in danger or whatever, and like he's trying to save some civilians and stuff like that, your little brother, bro, I'm going to go get my little brother, and I'm dipping out. Like, no, ain't no way. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. And those are the ones like what Invincible did, what the boys did, what you're doing. That's a deconstruction of the genre.
Yeah,
so
that's something totally different.
It's the people that are creating on the genre that have a problem. You're deconstructing the genre because you just put that question. Will I save civilians over my family? That's the conflict of your story. Mm-hmm. That's the conflict. So that's a deconstruction of the superhero genre. So the issue is that people aren't deconstructing. They're literally, I got bit by a spider out of a sewer. I'm Spider Turtle. Like that's what.
God dang it!
That's what's happening right here.
Spider Turtle. But
people heard your idea, they're gonna run with it.
That's it. Hey, you can have it.
Every week, bro. And you know what group we're talking about. Every week, there's Black Wolverine, another Black Spider-Man, Black Superman, Black Widow. Orion? Black Widow. Orion, I'm a
Black Widow. Noir Widow. That's the alternate version.
Black Hulk. Mighty Black Man. Ultra Black Man. Mega Black Man.
Black Superman. Black Sentry.
Black
Icon.
Black Sentry. Melanin Man. Mighty Melanin.
Hey, I'll buy
Black Beetle.
Black Blue Beetle. Black and Blue Beetle.
Black and Blue Beetle.
Black Blue Beetle. Black Beetle.
Black Flash. Melanin Flash.
Oh my gosh. He could go on for days. But
he could go on for days.
So to answer your question, can we do a Black Superman, right? If they put it in our hands, can we really do it? Bruh, it's
a Black African story, superhuman. Can we?
They already have that on the continent too, brother.
The what?
They got a whole super team on the continent already.
Oh, are you talking about Guardian Prime?
It's probably that's probably who they are, bro. But
Louise the knockoff.
Yeah, I know. But the thing of it is,
from Comic Republic.
But the thing of it is we need to be doing other stuff. There's other stuff besides superhero stuff. There's other stories that need to be told.
Clark
Melvin Kent. You stupid, bro.
Man, Uncle Jack need to be in here, bro. What in the world?
All right, I think it's possible. I think you can. I mean, I've seen people try to make a Shango story, but Shango's stuff is deep. It's really interesting. That's just the Yoruba gods. There's Igbo gods. There's South African gods. There's Nubian gods. There's Kenyan gods. There's gods all over the place. So like playing into the god thing, you can make all kinds of super people without doing the niche spider or bitten by a dog. How did Craven get his power? He got bitten by a radioactive lion.
Radioactive lion.
Oh my god. Yeah. I love whoever posted that comment. I will love them forever. They said he was bitten by a radio. I laughed for like 5 minutes straight.
Brothers, we can write movies, man. Don't let them scare you. Shit like
we
that.
can do a lot of things. I think we've been discredited enough as a black community as a whole, is that we're capable of doing a lot of things. It's just we need to be able to execute it correctly, and then it needs to be pushed very well. And I think that we're losing touch with society because we're not, we're doing the best we can, and I get that sometimes our hands are tied back because of how corporations act and how they execute business and how they put you in contracts and how they administer things and all that stuff like that. We get that. At the end of the day, it's the guys in suits at an executive table that pretty much whether they're gonna like let your project fly or they're gonna just let it crash. It's one of those things stuff. But had we had more black businesses and more sponsorship and endorsements and stuff like that, then I'm pretty sure a lot of our creative ideas and a lot of our African stories would have been in mainstream, and all throughout Hollywood and shit. I mean, I'm not trying to go too crazy on it there, but like we're gonna have Dion, you went to you went to Epcot, stuff like that. Was there an African world out there?
There was a small, tiny section between two European sections. It was basically a walkthrough.
In the back,
and they served. It was Kenya. It was Kenya, and they served coffee bean barbecue.
That doesn't sound bad. Was it actually good enough, or was it dry?
I doubt it was African. I don't know. I mean, did they eat coffee bean barbecue ribs in Africa?
No, but I could see somebody here doing that as a flavor. Possibly.
Yeah. When they do the around the world drink challenge, it's never something from Africa. It's pretty much just we need to put Africa. Let's just make it the small section that's a runway between two countries. If we're being real. Yeah.
That's a sad reality of how much of our culture is just being diluted here. And I'm not trying to sit here and say, hey, this is our America, but we have the ability to change that. Because we all know, what the craft that you guys are into is you guys are writers and stuff, and you guys are in charge of telling stories. That's a 24-hour job. Your mind is constantly thinking. Your imagination's on the goal of what to do, how to tell the story, what a character is getting ready to do how to portray certain things and stuff like that, and eloquently writing it very well in literature, whether if it's in comic book form or if it's in book form or whatever you got to do to actually try to convey your message and convey what you're trying to tell people and stuff like that. So your job is as a writer is something ongoing. We know that fucking in Japan and stuff like that, where it's anime culture out there and anime central stuff like that. Those writers are probably in their small ass, I don't know, smaller than the New York size apartment, stuff like that, and they're out there writing their asses off 24/7 because that's their living, that's their hustle. It's how different is their hustle between our hustle here in America? What we got to do to crank out stories that's going to be compelling to a lot of people here in America, that's going to want to push it and market it and let it be a part of a legacy like Stan Lee has created or Walt Disney has created. How do we try to create our own legacy with our stories, with our vision, with our imagination? What we got to do? Do we got to live up the same hustle mentality as Japan and crank out stories after stories after stories, draw after draw, character development? It's a lot going on. what do we got to do to get more of our black craft out there? You guys mentioned a lot of that stuff, but what do we got to do? You know,
they got a machine over there. They have a completely different industry. They actually
well funded.
Backs it too.
They're what?
Like the government backs
Yeah, I must say they're well funded.
They're very well funded over there. You can live off of being a mangaka.
Yeah, like I knew about Chainsaw Man well before it became an anime. It's like all I heard, it's a machine. Chainsaw Man's becoming Chainsaw Man adaptation's coming. Chainsaw Man. I'm like
they were prepping that thing for damn near a year and a half. I want to say,
and that sucks. Sorry.
Right, but it's an anime. People cosplay it and they enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like we don't have like comic books. It's just works so differently than manga, and there's no synergy. You read a manga, you watch the anime. You watch the anime, you read the manga. If as many people had watched Infinity War, actually bought Avenger comics, the comic industry would be like what? 5 times, 10 times healthier than what it is now. There's no synergy here between watching the IPs that are watching the entertainment that's based on the book. And I never really understood that from America, why, if you watch Jurassic Park, yeah, sure, you may not read Jurassic Park, but there's a better chance for you to read the novel better than reading the comic book. Most people, and I don't know, it's just the way it was birthed here. A lot of adults still view comic books as like childish, kiddie things.
But not where I'm standing from, brother. Not where I'm standing from.
I think it would just take a Pharrell. I think it's going to take a Meg Thee Stallion to say, hey, let's just freaking let me do my own manga. Let me do my own. It's going to take someone high, man. It's going to take someone already popular, Tyler Perry. It's going to take someone already mainstream to kind of uplift us, because we know Marvel, DC ain't going to do it. Image Comics, they're great, they're phenomenal, but there's no Black Robert Kirkman. There's no Black Stan Lee. There's nobody of us in power like that or creatively.
They'll uplift one IP.
Huh?
They'll uplift one IP.
Yes.
At a time.
Maybe two. Yeah, but say at a time.
They'll take, who's already kind of talking or popping or whatever, and they'll align themselves with
Philadelphia. Rodney Barnes in Philadelphia is probably he's probably that one.
We need a Shonen Jump. We need a Shonen Jump.
Yes, bro. Oh, I don't know. Was it Donovan? I told somebody that there was a African Shonen Jump that I discovered like a while ago. Just had a whole bunch of comics from.
I know.
But it was digital. It was digital. I want to say it starts with a K. Ugh. Fuck.
I know someone's done a mixtape of comics.
Say it again, Charles.
Kugali.
I think that's it.
So
there were a few good ones in there. There were a few good ones, or at least the one I read.
Charles' reaction tells it all. The
one that I read, there was few. I only got my hands on
very
one.
Good. They did one story called, I think, my grandfather's a god or something. Very good. They do good work. So there's another problem.
They need to start importing that over here so we see that shit.
So there's another problem with a lot of the African-based comics where they're trying to emulate the Western style already. They didn't really come with an original style.
I didn't see that in there though.
You didn't not yet. Kugali has a lot of stuff.
Because all that stuff was like native stuff. That's why that drove me in. I was like, oh, this is like our Shonen Jump over there though.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's not all of them, and it's normal. Western media conquers the world. So
for now.
But the thing that hasn't happened is like Nollywood and like the movies that are the African movies that are in their native tongue. The Western like storytelling method is not in those. But like comics, typically they're trying to appeal to Western buyers when they're making their comics. So that's why there's a Guardian Prime. There's some really good ones. Kwezi, I always say, whenever I tell anyone, I say Kwezi's really good. He had a different take, another deconstruction of the superhero. But unfortunately, a lot of them they're trying to emulate. I'm like, okay, so this is what? African Iron Man? That's what we're doing, bro? You know what I'm saying? So and anyone that's read one of these books knows what I'm talking about. But that's a problem. That's one of the problems. They didn't like the way the Japanese took their culture and just cradled it and shut off. Even like in a sense where with My Hero Academia, they're making a mockery of Western superheroes. Like where that creativity is what's kind of missing. So but yeah, that's one thing with the African comics.
And the thing about it as well is that we don't have to follow exactly with our culture and stuff. Like I know, of course, we want the African stories and stuff like that, and but of course we're not even confined to that. Like look at One Piece. One Piece that's pirates and stuff like that. I feel like that's more of like our culture or whatever. Kind of how we pushed on that when it comes to pirates. But that's in Japan. Japan is doing pirates better than the whole entire world, and pirates and stuff started kind of like, you know what I'm saying, that was like more of a American type push, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's not just that, it's other different things. Basketball, like bruh, all these different basketball animes is ridiculous. It's amazing, you know what I'm saying? And we dominate basketball over here. So it's not just confined. Their imagination and execution is just way above ours. Ours back in the day, maybe like when Iron Man and Spider-Man and all these other different stories was just coming out and it was fresh, new, different. That was good for a certain time, and maybe we could, compete with them. But right now, bro, it ain't no way possible to compete with these guys. They're coming out with a different Iron Man type hit every week. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, fresh. Like, bro, Chainsaw Man came out, just different stuff that can compete with Dragon Ball Z is coming out. Like the amount of hype and stuff is coming out frequently. Like, it's not even missing.
Yeah. And that's the interesting
none
thing.
Of this stuff is missing.
It's all hype. It's like really hype now, because I would say the last anime that came out that actually competed with Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, those are the best ones. That's One Piece go away. The best one.
We're gonna talk later.
Well, Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan came out 2010.
Yeah.
Fucked the game up completely. Not a regular protagonist.
Yeah.
A goddamn villain. It's a monster story. It's a goddamn monster story, and it's a survival story. And it taught records and I'm like, this is the point where story does overtake everything. Because Attack on Titan animation was not all that. It wasn't all that. It wasn't up there with Boruto.
Hey! Some of them action scenes were dope though. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the action scenes were dope, but like so is Jujutsu Kaisen or whatever.
Yeah.
Very pretty. Demon Slayer, very pretty. I don't know. No one knows what's going on in those shows. I always like, what do you like about the show? Oh man, look, you see the fight scenes? I'm like, what do you like about the show? Like,
you talking about Jujutsu Kaisen? That's the only one I can relate to you on that one.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, but those fight scenes.
Fight scenes was dope.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're not even having to be as good as Dragon Ball or Naruto.
Yeah.
The only one that was, to me, was as good story-wise was Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan crossed over here, like before it became an anime. It already crossed over just off a story. So I forgot where I was going with that. But like, because of their machine, things don't even have to be that good. They don't have to overtake the big three. They just have to be anime, because they'll jump right in and be like,
hey, yo, you childish.
You actually know how to do that shit.
Yo, he been waiting to break that out. But as far as what you're saying though, man, I think our standard in Japan is a lot higher. As in, I feel like our like, yo, this is a 9 out of 10. Yo, this is a 10 out of 10. Over there in Japan, that's like for real, our standards is like that's a 3 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? 4 out of 10. You know, like that's how I feel about it, because I feel like
you're saying we're more critical of their stuff, or they're more critical of our stuff?
They're more critical.
We're more critical of their stuff, only because it has to compare to something like Dragon Ball Z, something like Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho. So over here, you know what I'm saying? Like we getting, I ain't even gonna call out one of the books, but we're getting that, you know, trash story book to it doesn't make any sense. And it's like, man, you know, that was okay. You're like, no, it was. It was not. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah. So I mean, I feel like Chainsaw Man. That book, which didn't have too much depth, but you know, it did some things different. It was a fun book to read, this and that. That book and story, I feel like trumped every single or almost all Marvel books. You know what I'm saying? Like that came out every year that Chainsaw Man was out. You know what I mean?
And I haven't read Chainsaw Man. I just saw the first episode, so I went off.
I read that.
Going off that.
Okay. Well, I can use a different example.
It might be good. No, it might be good. I'm just going off of the hype I was hearing. I'm like, oh, let's watch Chainsaw Man. And I'm like,
yeah, I feel you. That's how I felt too.
Okay, check. Okay, he wants the girl. Okay, check.
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna die? Okay, check. All right, that's it.
Yep.
I'm gonna watch.
We gonna have to have a little bit of discussion afterwards because I got some things I want to ask you.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but we can use Demon Slayer.
Off the record.
Demon Slayer?
Yeah, we can use Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer doesn't have too much of a crazy story, but it hit. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, it hits. And excuse me, Demon Slayer is like anime wise, it's like a say like a 6, maybe a 7 out of 10, right? Manga anime style. Now over here in America, bruh, name me one book that's going over Demon Slayer. You know what I'm saying? Like, name me one any comic book or even mainstream book that's compared to the best of what Demon Slayer can put out.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so like I said, we more critical than anime because we comparing them to, again, stuff like that. Yeah,
we don't have a baseline yet. We don't have a baseline.
That's realistically what it is.
Right,
but like I said, I like that approach about us having a green book, which I like that name, a green book.
Right, that's all you, bro. That's all you.
Okay.
D. Smith, man, you got some ideas, bro.
Yeah.
You got some ideas, man. I think we're going to close out the episode with one last discussion.
Oh, boy.
And I think we've been building up to this. So, Black Comic Lords put out a video about War of Independence number 2. There was a whole bunch of black superheroes and black comic characters in one single issue. All right? The post kind of went viral within the community. And now they're coming together to make a big black independent comic book crossover. All right? So we did a video about this, about the possibilities. Can they do it? Will it happen? I was all Mr. Negative. I'm Anakin Skywalker in this shit. I'm like, ain't no fucking way this is gonna happen. Ain't no way people are gonna come together like this to make this happen. And they saw the video.
Yeah, Uncle Ruckus. He was about like, "Is it y'all motherfuckers ain't gonna?"
They saw the video and
motherfuckers write no comic book together.
Niggas don't read.
So we faced a little criticism from the actual creators involved with this. Apparently next week they have a spreadsheet going on. I think Tony Cottrell is pretty much leading the charge on this. Tony is leading the charge on this. He's gonna have he has a spreadsheet. I think they got like 50 plus people signed up, and I think next week they're gonna start a meeting, and I think they're gonna do like a character by committee, see who gets in, who gets out for the book. But what are some of the challenges that this kind of project will take? What kind of challenge and problems they're gonna have to overcome to make this project work within, its project lifespan and production, to make this comic, this massive. I'm not sure how massive it's gonna turn out, but if they're allowing 50 IPs in one comic book, one graphic, I mean, it has to be a graphic novel at that point, right? You would think, but I think they're aiming for the biggest crossover in any comic history. What kind of problems and issues you think will arise that they have to overcome to make this thing happen?
You want me to go first, or somebody else want to get?
We want you to go.
That's all you, bro.
I mean, first of all, you're gonna face egos. Like, let's be real. Egos all day can destroy this project on arrival, right? Second is the story. The story, just like, I mean, it seems like they can't. I mean, not they. It seems like people can't get the story right in a single, you know what I'm saying, with a single character being in there. You know, a single IP character being in there, right? So how are they going to get it throwing all these different characters in there? You know, like even me managing, 7 cousins was pretty tough, you know? So now they about to have, like, you said 40, 50. I know you got to, of course, make the cut, but just having, say, more than 20 is going to be a pretty tough challenge. And then also to have those different characters coming into one book, like how many pages is it going to be? Who's going to be the artist? Is it going to be multiple artists? How is that going to really look business-wise? And then also when it comes to ownership, who's going to own this thing? How are they going to split it? Who's going to put in and how much? It's a lot of different things that they got to kind of like really figure out before. And I was actually I actually did a video about this as well. I was trying to hurry and put that out. But those different points I'm going to address there. But the main thing is of course the egos. You said that somebody's going to be the leader, and that leader is going to have the respect of everybody when he says, no, we're not doing that. No, you're getting out the group because of this and that, and you're causing too much drama. No, we're not doing that idea. No, your character is going to get 1 page and that's it. Or
screw you! I sell more books than you anyway. Fuck you guys. I'm out.
Yeah. Bruh, like you're gonna have to have that respect, because people with egos is gonna like tear that apart. Like as soon as somebody get an attitude, the whole project can go off the rail. Like, all right, I'm taking my IP out of here. That's it. Don't put my IP up there or I'm the sue. It can be so much different drama in there. They can get it right, but they're gonna have to get the foundation like impeccable before they even want to get started with a single image drawn.
Oof.
So yeah, it's gonna be a tough scene, but if they get it right, it can make history. And on top of that, one of the main things, and this is what always be my thing. Yes, they can get the book out and stuff like that, but if the story not good, the only reason somebody will buy it is because so they can sell it later. Like that's real talk. And I don't know how far in history you're gonna go with that.
Oh man! All right, Charles, you up?
What you mean?
Go ahead.
Same things. Well, me and Dion are definitely not making the cut after this video.
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, we didn't. They know us. As soon as we posted the video, we were done for.
We're done. We got kicked out.
Yeah.
I do like the concept of collabing.
Oh yeah.
I want to try something like this actually pretty soon. Not in this way, but something like this. Yeah, I think it's a little bit tough. I guess it depends on how they're doing it. It'll be tough. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to watch. But I think it'll be very, very tough. Story. Everybody on the cover is different. Embedded in the story is tough. But I'm excited because they definitely have got some good hitters on there. To see it through, so it's going to be interesting to watch. But yeah, we're excited to see. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough story. Exposure. It is Tony's. And Tony has a good amount of. He commands a good amount of with Advent Comics. He's one of the long running comic as well. So if Tony can, and he's done something similar to this before. Am I right?
I think so.
Yeah, with this Cosmos storyline, which had like 10, 15, 20 characters, something like that.
He's done this before.
Yeah, he's done this before.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I'll get a copy, and part of history. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, D. Smith.
I ain't got nothing to say.
You
talked about this. Say what?
I'm trying to get you in trouble.
I ain't got nothing to say. I hope it does well. I hope clear heads prevail. And from the lineup I saw, I was like, I might have to cop this. I'm probably gonna cop this. I just don't know how. Because if we had a better distribution of how we could get more comics in each other's hands, then maybe this would sell out. You know, I'm just saying.
Was that shade? That sounded like, was that shade?
Yes.
Definitely was shade.
Pocket shade. Yeah. That's all I have. I hope that it does well. This sounds like it's gonna be good. I'm hoping that the story is it isn't like a basic like old school 90s story to just get a whole bunch of people together and then nothing really happens. So that's about it.
Okay. Go ahead, NWO.
I'm gonna be the devil's advocate and say that.
Dang, boy, got to go.
No, but I'm gonna head a different direction with this. I'm actually liking this idea. I'm gonna tell you this. So, but to be the devil's advocate about that, of what I just said is that I feel like it can work. Here's why I'm gonna say like I feel like it can work. Right. So we would think that every writer, illustrator, and everything else would handle this with such class. We would hope, you know, that's all it takes with old poise and everything else, and a little bit more of like an attitude adjustment on, you know, okay, check your egos at the door. You know, we're trying to tell a story. You know, there's going to be an opportunity for redemption for a character. I feel like every character that's going to be in this comic or in this graphic novel or whatever they decide to do with this collaboration experience, stuff like that. I feel like it's going to be an opportunity for every character to be highlighted if written well properly and everything else, and execution and everything else. So I'm just going to speak on logistics and how well this could work out. If only they check their egos at the door, if they only be able to handle this as classy gentlemen and be like, okay, I can go with that story or I can bounce off of you. If the chemistry is there, if the relationship is there, and there's a whole lot of, okay, you know, we could bounce ideas off. It kind of like, let's say that if we were all writing something, and just like how we just like have a chemistry with the rest of us, you know, here behind the scenes, you know, if we could handle it with much class, it could pretty much write a story with much class, stuff like that. And it's just a matter of handle it with professionalism. At the end of the day, if somebody's putting money, all the motherfuckers will get in line and be like, oh, well, you know, we getting this money, we're going to make sure that we hold it together, you know. But if this was going to be an effort where there's no money involved, stuff like that, so, oh, yeah, egos will be at the door. No, my fucking character's better than your character. Blase, 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 stuff like that, you know. But at the end of the day, I have faith that, you know, these indie creators, stuff like that, could come together as like their own Justice League, their own Avengers, stuff like that. And at the greater good, it's to put this, our ability as creators, writers, people that's able to take our imagination and our stories and put it out there to the masses where people were able to support it, stuff like that. I feel like that it could be a success. You know, it just needs those elements of care and really, really making sure that every time they check into the office or they do it to the little board meeting or anytime they do a Zoom session, stuff like that, they all have the same thing on their clipboard to say, hey, this is a collaboration efforts to show that Black folks can create. We can get stuff out there that is dominating to the scene of what's already out there, you know? And I'm imploring for something like this to happen. It's just about that time, because you guys mentioned before that there's teams out there who's out there trying to be a collaboration of creators and illustrators, stuff like that, push the business, stuff like that. It's about somebody. It's really about that time for somebody else to be able to shine. It's time for that push. And I'm imploring for this to actually work out where there's more benefits to all these indie creators to collaborate and get their IPs acknowledged and highlighted correctly.
Love it. I love that.
Well said.
Well said, man. Well said. I think, like you guys have all mentioned, ego and creative control. We think differently, and it may not even just be about power levels and my character's better than yours. We just think differently storytelling wise. We think different visually, and we might, hey, I think this panel would be better if we did it this way. Like, no, I think this panel would be better if we do it that way. And I think they're gonna take it's going to take that trust and that leadership of Tony, or whoever's going to run it, to lay down the law and say, no, we're going to do it this way. And people are going to have to accept that. You might have to accept, like, yo, like, you can borrow my character, but for real, we're just going to, you know, you don't really have too much of an input on this. You have to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to be okay with that, with letting maybe the more seasoned individuals to manage it for you. So is it impossible? No. Is it unlikely? They got to fight the odds. And I think they can fight the odds if they put aside ego and they put aside differences. And I think if they have to have the desire. It can't just be, because, you know, we all get excited when a project first comes out. Oh, yeah, I'm so excited to get this project. Yeah, I'm so pumped. You get halfway through, you're like, fuck this shit, man. Like, I'm tired or whatever. Like, you lose momentum. You lose that. And you have to keep pushing. You have to keep pushing and remember why you got the project started. I think if they can keep that and keep in mind that they have people watching them and rooting for them to succeed, I think they'll come through. Whether this book takes a year or 2 years, or I don't know how big is it, a graphic novel or a single issue, I'm not sure. But you know, I think they can pull through. I think they can pull through. I think they have some good individuals in there who can lead it to victory. And I think that's what we need, because I don't think the best of the best is working with each other.
Yeah,
I don't think the best of the best is working with each other.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. I mean, I think they really can make things work. Like for real, if somebody, you know, reach out to me, I'll even be willing to make sure, you know, things work out and stuff like that, and put in whatever type of input. But as far as, like, again, of course, you're gonna have the whole world as well kind of work against you with, you know, just different opinions and stuff like that, and they gotta kind of filter through all this stuff for a long period of time, because, you know, how long are they going to take to produce this book? You know, again, a single book working with just one individual, sometimes it takes 6 months, a year, and so on, right? So of course they're going to be battling, like you said, the momentum is strong right now, but on the third month, like, yo, what's going on? And then, you know, who's not going to be getting paid, you know, right now, you know, because somebody's always looking for money as well. So I mean, it's a number of different things, man. But I mean, I'm rooting for them. You know me, I'm all about story. I really hope the story is dope, that they really invest time into that. And that's my main thing, for real. Of course, you know, we'll pick it up just to be like, man, yo, we holding some history in our hand, man. But oh man, I like I said, as long as they get that story right, man, I'm good to go. They got the you know, saying they got everything in order and stuff like that when it comes to what do you call it? Just, you know, shining the light on just the individuals that's involved as well. Everybody, of course, is not fighting, and maybe this turned into something else different. Like, yo, what if they put their own company together, like we've been talking about on the show? So you never know what this thing
other talks.
Yeah, so you know, I'm really hoping that this thing works out, man, and they, you know, again, put the egos down and create something amazing that's going to go down in history to birth something else after the project. So, but that's where I'm at.
Church, man, church. And to close out tonight, I got a few comments left from Uncle Jack. Coffee bean barbecue. Yes, they were coffee bean barbecue ribs.
Hey, I try it. I'll be honest, I try it.
Maybe next time. I was just like, nah, I'm good. Jack says, Cos Famous the Musical. In the works, buddy. In the works.
Let's get it.
In the works, man. Getting it, grinding it out, man. Grinding it out. I'm thankful for everybody who's working with me, because I couldn't get this shit done by myself. I got a good crew, man. I got a good cast, and hopefully in the next 2-3 months, man, this will be done deal, in the can, finished, and onto post-production. Fellas, it's been a pleasure, like always, having you guys on for tonight. And you guys got any last words?
Vonell, don't leave after the stream.
I got you, bro. You know I got you.
All right, cool.
Other than that, always a pleasure.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely a pleasure being on the show, man. Y'all always got some heat. My back is always sweating after them, so I gotta go take a shower as soon as we end this clip. But it was fun though, man, as always.
Hey, thanks for coming on, man. If for any listeners out there want to check out Delta Dogs, we got the website on the
Hold up the book. Hold the book up, bro. Hold the book up.
Let's go.
There you go.
The new volume's out.
There you go. There you go.
20 plus issues, new volume, hardcover. Dude, like
there
the best of the best.
Right. Multiple books. Multiple books. Buy the book. Buy the book.
I got one more. I got one more. All right. We good.
That's a good cover. That's a nasty cover.
We good.
That's a nasty cover.
I'm gonna drop it.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Hey, thank you all for listening, joining in with us tonight. It was a 1 drink minimum tonight, so kept it pretty light. So I catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.
Peace.